I told you that something millions of us do every single day, working late or even just scrolling on our phones under bright lights, could be a serious hidden health risk? It's a question that goes right to the heart of our body's ancient, and I mean ancient, relationship with light and darkness. Welcome to Sleepia, a corner of the internet dedicated to the science of sleep and circadian rhythms. Today, we're diving into the pretty surprising science that connects our modern 24/7 bright world with a potential increase in cancer risk. And the key to this whole mystery, as you're about to see, is your body's incredibly precise internal clock. Okay, let's just get right to it. This is the statement that really made everyone sit up and pay attention. The World Health Organization basically said that long-term night shift work is a probable human carcinogen. Now, probable means there's a lot of solid evidence, even if it's not 100% proven cause and effect just yet. But get this, it puts night work in the same risk category as things like eating red meat. So how on earth can a work schedule be put in the same boat as a known cancer risk factor? Well, to understand the risk, you first have to meet the main character in this whole biological drama, a super important hormone that's supposed to be running the show every single night. Meet melatonin. And trust me, it is so much more than just that sleep aid you see at the pharmacy. As soon as it gets dark, your brain starts pumping this stuff out, and it's like a signal to your entire body that it's nighttime. But here's the really cool part. Besides making you sleepy, melatonin is a powerhouse. It's an antioxidant, it helps keep other hormones in check, and it even helps control cell growth. Think of it as the manager of your body's entire overnight repair crew. And this right here, this slide lays out the whole problem perfectly. On the left, you've got a normal night. It's dark, melatonin is high, and your body's repair crew is hard at work. But then look at the right side. You flip on a bright light or stare at your phone, and it's like hitting a kill switch. Your brain gets tricked into thinking it's still daytime, melatonin production just tanks, and all those critical repair jobs, they just get shut down. Now, this wasn't just a wild theory. Scientists started seeing some really disturbing clues in the lab, and that led them to ask a much, much bigger question. Could this same thing be happening to people on a massive scale? So check out this experiment. It was a real game changer. Researchers took rats with human breast cancer tumors, and for some of them, they just left a dim light on at night. We're talking about as much light as you'd get from under a doorway. The results were, honestly, they were stunning. The rats in the dim light had way less melatonin, and their tumors grew so much faster than the rats kept in total darkness. And that is always the big question, right? I mean, that's rats. What about us? What about all the nurses, the factory workers, the pilots, all the people who spend their nights under bright lights for a living? Well, researchers did what's called a meta-analysis. That's where they combine the data from a bunch of studies to get one super-powered result. They looked at data from over 4 million people, and they found a really clear signal. On average, women who worked the night shift long-term had a 20% higher risk of breast cancer compared to women who only worked during the day. And what's really interesting is what scientists call a dose-response relationship. Basically, the more you do it, the higher the risk. The data shows pretty clearly that the longer you work night shifts, we're talking years, even decades, the higher that associated risk seems to climb. And that consistent pattern is a big reason why this is taken so seriously. Okay, so let's put on our lab coats for a second and zoom way in, down to the cellular level. How exactly does a messed up sleep schedule throw a wrench into the fundamental machinery of life itself? It's pretty amazing to think about, but inside almost every single cell in your body, there is a tiny molecular clock. And that's not a metaphor. It's a real set of genes, called clock genes, that cycle on and off every 24 hours. They're like the gears of a tiny watch, telling the cell when it's time to grow, when to repair damage, and even when it's time to die. See, our bodies are constantly replacing old cells through this really orderly process. Cells grow, they copy their DNA, they get ready, and then they split in two. It's a very tightly controlled dance that keeps our bodies running smoothly. And those clock genes we just talked about, well, think of them as the bouncers at the door of the club. They are the gatekeepers for this whole process, acting as checkpoints to make sure a cell only divides when everything is absolutely perfect. This prevents mistakes that could lead to problems. So, here it is, the crucial point. When your body's master clock gets thrown off by things like light at night and low melatonin, those cellular bouncers get confused. Their timing is all wrong. And that can let damaged cells slip through the cracks and start dividing when they shouldn't. And that uncontrolled growth, well, that's the very definition of cancer. Okay, I know that was a lot of heavy science. But look, the goal here is not to scare you. It's to empower you. So let's shift gears and talk about what the research says we can actually do to protect ourselves. For you and me, it really comes down to managing light. First, make your bedroom a pitch black cave. I'm serious. Blackout curtains, an eye mask, whatever it takes. If you do work nights, consider wearing blue light blocking glasses on your way home. And this one is huge. Get bright, natural sunlight during your waking hours, no matter when that is. It helps anchor your body clock and screams, hey, this is daytime. But hey, this isn't all just on individuals. Workplaces can make a huge difference too. Research shows that schedules that rotate forward, so from a day shift to an evening to a night shift, are much easier on the body than going backwards. Limiting how many night shifts someone works in a row and making sure there's enough rest time are also really critical changes. Okay, so this brings up the question I'm sure is on a lot of your minds. If low melatonin is the problem, can I just take a melatonin supplement and fix everything? Well, the science basically says not so fast. While melatonin might help cancer patients with therapy side effects, it is absolutely not a proven strategy to prevent cancer in healthy people. Plus, the quality and dosage in supplements can be all over the place. So this is 100% a talk to your doctor first situation before you even think about it. So I want to leave you with this final thought. For millions and millions of years, life on this planet evolved with a really simple, reliable rhythm. Bright day, dark night. And then, in what is basically the blink of an eye in evolutionary time, we invented the light bulb and just erased the night. This research really forces us to ask a tough question. As our world gets brighter, 24/7, are we accidentally switching off one of our body's most ancient and powerful defense systems? It's something to think about next time you flip on a light after the sun goes down.